The year is 1348. This time period is known as the medieval period, and some call it the Dark Ages because there's no electricity, there's no fast food, and worst of all, there's no YouTube. Also, this is the year that the Black Plague started and sent half of Europe to the main lobby. Our main character for today is Amicia de Rune, who's a French girl of noble descent of the Rune family. And she lives in a huge estate with her family and a bunch of workers, and I gotta say, it's a nice place to live, especially for the Middle Ages. Also, because the game is set in France, I googled to see if I can play the game in French, and the community says that the game is better in French. And as soon as I changed it, I saw an immediate improvement in the voice acting.
La place à vos côtés.
Oh, this is so much better. Oh, okay. As we're spending time with our little brother Hugo, we overhear something happening outside the house. Oh no, it's the French Inquisition troops. But what's an Inquisition? The Inquisition is kind of a religion police who would kill anyone who disobeys the church. Anyways, the Inquisition leader is talking to her father because they're searching for his son Hugo. And our dad tells him no, and he gets executed in front of everyone, and the Inquisition raids our house to try to find our little brother Hugo. And then our mother Beatrice escorts us out of the estate while we watch the Inquisition just slaughter all of our maids, cooks, gardeners. And just as we're about to leave the estate, we get seen by a guard. And our mother tells us to go see a doctor called Laurentus because he'll be able to take care of us. And just like that, she closes the door to the estate's garden and she gets killed. And we run away while getting chased by the Inquisition and jump in the river, just like that one scene in No Country for Old Men. So while the screen fades to black, us, the video game player, have two unanswered questions, which is, why is the Inquisition after her little brother? And also, who is Laurentus? We reach a small town, and the townspeople heard about the Inquisition raiding our estate. And you know what happens next? We get chased out of the town. As soon as we get to the town's church, we get our first boss fight of the game. And I'll be honest, it was a lengthy boss fight, just because you had to bait his swing, and then you go behind him, you use your slingshot to remove an armor piece, and once his helmet is removed, you can finally deliver the final blow to his head and defeat the final villager boss. Hugo and I run far across the land to finally reach the home of Laurentus, and we get to him at night, so he's in his bed, and he tells us that Hugo has an evil coursing through his blood, and his blood is sought after by the Inquisition. And just as he's about to go into more detail about Hugo's disease, his house gets invaded by rats. So we storm out of the estate while being chased by rats, and Laurentus's apprentice, Lucas, tags along with us. And soon after fleeing the scene, little Hugo trips and falls, and I'm trying to help him up, but we both get captured by Inquisition troops. So we wake up in a prison camp, and a guard tells me that they put Hugo in another cage on the other side of the camp. And in classic fashion, we escape the dog cage that they put me in, and we sneak past a couple guards and rescue Hugo. So at this point in my playthrough, I was kind of tired of sneaking around guards the whole time, so I decided to use a speedrun strat, and I sprinted my way through the camp, and the guards came after us. After that, we do a combination of Tomb Raider exploration and big abandoned caves and cliff sides, and we complete a bunch of uncharted puzzles to finally reach an abandoned castle near a cliffside. This is where Lucas tells Amicia that his master Laurentus and her mother were working on creating an elixir to save Hugo's disease, but they weren't able to complete it because both of them didn't have the recipe book to complete the elixir. And Lucas asks Amicia if she can go and fetch a book called Sanguinis so he can complete the elixir and save Hugo. So we sneak our way past the city that's heavily guarded by the Inquisition because of the rat outbreak. Then we complete a bunch of puzzles inside, and we finally get our hands on the Sanguinis book. A cutscene shows a man named Vitalis, and he's the leader of the Inquisition, and he says that he knows who we are. And he wants our brother's blood to be transfused with his blood in order to create a new world order. And I swear to God, I did not make that up. It literally says it in the wiki. And he sends his guards after us, and we run away from the university, and we bring the book back to Lucas. And he tells me that we need to go back to our mom's laboratory in order to finish making the elixir, because she has all the ingredients. Man, oh man, once we arrived to the Rune's estate, the whole house became a massive rat's nest, to a point where the rats swarm you by creating a rat tornado. So after that whole debacle, we get to Beatrice's laboratory, and Lucas creates the elixir. Once we get back to the abandoned castle, we see Hugo is visibly in pain, where his veins have become all blackened by the disease, and we make him drink the elixir, and we go to bed. The next morning, Hugo is nowhere to be found, and the game makes us play a weird 40-minute long sequence where Amicia is in a euphoric trance, and then she sees him being captured by a guard. Within blackness, right? I don't know, it's very weird. And then we play as Hugo, who's been captured by the Inquisition, and we sneak around a massive cathedral. And it was kind of cool because the whole time I was playing this, it felt like I was playing the Resident Evil 4 castle level with all the guards and the monks. I don't know, it was pretty cool. And while we sneak around the cathedral, we find our mother Beatrice, and it turns out that she wasn't killed when the door closed at the beginning of the game. It was just a servant that died in front of her, and not herself. So then we do a bunch of puzzles where we're running right through rats, around all the rats, in order to get a key to bail her out of her prison cell. And after 8 hours of playtime where we keep running away from rats, she finally reveals to Hugo that he doesn't have a disease, but in fact he has a gift of being immune to the rat plague. And she tells him that he can use his mind control to move rats around in the direction that he wants. We meet back up with our sister Amicia, who came to try to rescue us, and we have the final boss fight of the game versus Vitalis. This is one of the coolest boss fights I've ever experienced. Basically, the TLDR is just that Vitalis kept injecting himself full of Hugo's blood during the whole game, that he's also able to control rats. And one of his attacks is like a rat tower that he creates that falls onto us, and we have to evade it. And then I have to use my brother's rat tornado attack to stop him, and then I switch to my slingshot, and then I shoot a bunch of rocks to his face. Once we do that 3 or 4 times in a row, we kill him and roll the credits. It's a very linear story where you sneak around, distract guards with a bunch of sound cues just to progress to the next level, and I understand that's not for everyone. Yesterday I went to go play tennis with one of my friends, and I don't know, I just decided to take a video of myself, and I thought I looked so cool while playing tennis. But if we take a look, I don't know why, but why are my legs bendy? I don't know, I look weird playing tennis. So the common question of the week is, do you play any sports? And if yes, which ones? I like to play tennis, hockey, and skiing. Also, last week someone left a constructive criticism, which I love, so if you have any more of those, please leave them down in the comments, talking about my mic. So I went on Amazon, and I bought a pop filter, so hopefully my voice isn't as bad as on the other video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Good. Yeah.